relax,
Right.
and let's give it to Jesus.
We're
Ding!
both from Brooklyn, born and raised.
I'm done with New York. I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
Paige, I was basically, you could say stalking the page, but not really stalking the page. I was just going at you like that.
Yeah, you want to eat better.
What though? I was spitting a little games though, playing me.
And I was like, you bum? Not a whole different testimony. You guys
great.
are with Let's Talk About It with
Jay
and Rose. And
right.
today we're going to hit on us and how we met and all that good stuff. Let's start off with where we're from. I know I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. We're both from Brooklyn, born and raised. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to do this.
That's crazy.
Just want to let y'all know I'm going to
She
do
does
this
that every time, seriously.
all the time. Every time.
All right.
But yeah. So
Born and raised in the P's, in the good old projects.
yeah, I was born and raised in the projects too. Actually, I was born in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, in an apartment.
That sounds fancy.
In an apartment. And then from there, we went to Brownsville. I was in a shelter. Then I went to the projects. I was raised out there.
Rough and tough.
Yeah. And then, okay, so how did we meet? So we knew each other for a very long time. Let's get that started at the beginning. We knew each other through your uncle and my mom.
Right.
They were best friends, and they used to always go to church. And we used to tag along with them in the van, the church van.
Church van, yeah.
And we were always talking. We were good friends. That's it, friends.
Yeah.
Friends. Let's get that straight.
Right.
I was married. You was dating.
Right. I was dating somebody at the time.
And I already had my daughter. But I was young. I got married young. I was young. I was like 18, 19. All right. We got to know each other. Blah, blah, blah. After that, there was a long period of time where we didn't speak to each other.
Yeah. We had a long break. Yeah.
We had a long break.
Yeah, 10,
You
12,
ended up
12
getting
plus
married
years. Yeah.
eventually.
To the one I was seeing at the time.
Yes.
Got married.
I was married, got divorced, all of that. It was a whole bunch of things going on with that big gap of years that we didn't hear from each other or even spoke or anything like that. I mean, we knew somewhat about each other because of your uncle and my mom and stuff like that, but that was about it. There was no like talking and stuff like that between us.
Right, we stayed away, so.
Yeah, so it was about a decade. 10 years plus.
10 plus years for sure.
Where we didn't communicate.
Talk at all.
And eventually during that 10-year plus gap or whatever, I ended up moving to PA, Pennsylvania. I was already 32 with 5 kids, moving to PA. Couldn't take it. I wanted a whole nother life. I said, I'm done with New York. I'm done. I'm out. Peace. and I left with my kids to start a new life, but things got rough over there as well. It was hard for me. I was not really in church. I had got out already and all of that. I got real cold of the things of God. I didn't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, which was a intimate relationship. I knew about God. I knew to read the Bible and stuff like that, but I didn't know how to really communicate with God and have that relationship with him. Yeah, so I remember things got really bad. I ended up losing everything. It got to the point where I lost everything and I literally had to surrender to God. And I said to myself, I want a relationship with you, God. I don't know how to go about it. I don't know how to be alone, but I'm going to try. But it was hard for me. And I remember praying and asking God, like, God, I want a man that's going to understand me, that's going to be on my same page, that's going to have a relationship with me, a relationship with you. And yeah, you end up hitting up. Hey.
Yeah. I sent that good old message. I was like, hey, because I was going through my own stuff, you know. I was separated from my ex-wife for 2.5+ years, and I had, you know, I had my dark phase. You know, I had anxiety, depression. I was going through my stuff, and I've, you know, I had a time to heal. In that those 2.5 years, I had time to heal, kind of get over my
Alright.
thing. Again, that's like I guess our own separate testimony that we could just over time. We'll get into that, I guess, to the more details. But
Yes.
yeah, I had time to heal, and I was ready to like basically like I finally felt in my heart like you know like I don't want to be alone. I want to, you know, I want to be with somebody. So randomly, I was just going through Facebook one day, and I came across your page, and I was just, and then I was like, wow, I remember you. I don't know, were we? I'm trying to remember. The only thing is, were we friends on? Were we even friends on Facebook? I can't even
I
remember.
believe so. Yes, we
We
were.
were, right, and then
Yes, we were friends
and I
on
just,
Facebook.
yeah, I just ended up passing on one of your posts, and I was like, oh wow, like I remember you from way back. I was like, so I went on your page and I started scrolling, and I don't know, it was just something about you. I found you cute, attractive, like, you know, I was feeling your vibe. I kept going through your page because that was my way of like knowing more about you. I was trying to learn about you the best
Being
I
a
could.
stalker.
I know, right?
Were you being a stalker,
I
babe?
was just a little bit. I was like, I like your curtains. Nah, nah. But nah, I was on your page. I was basically, you could say stalking your page, but not really stalking your page. I was just going through your history, all right? Let's not get crazy.
Mhm.
All right. Wow. You hit me with my move. But yeah, I was I was going through your page, and I was like, because that's how I got to know you. You know what I'm saying? I go based off your posts. I get a feel for you. Like, you know, that's how it is. You get a feel for somebody. You could kind of tell like where their head is at and what they're thinking and how they feel about stuff. So I kind of was just doing that. I wanted to see like, what are you about? And what are you... But I remember feeling like I was just like, yo, I like your energy. Your energy is crazy. I think I find you attractive. I don't care what anybody says. Because you was, yeah, because you always say, oh, it's so skinny. But
I was really skinny though. I was like 90 pounds. What?
that's, yeah, no,
was-
you was slim, but not by
I
the, not
was
when,
stress skinny.
no, you, but that was you at your skinniest though, technically, which I saw on your
Yeah,
page, by the way.
I was
But
depression
when I
skinny.
started talking to you, or when we finally decided to try to start talking to each other, or when I started to try to hit you up, you weren't weighing that though. When I hit you up, you had already gained a little bit of weight. So
No,
I think-
I
no?
think when you got with me, when we actually got together was when I was starting to
gain weight.
I was starting to gain weight.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that I had that effect on you like that. Okay.
Yeah, you made me want to eat better.
Wow. Nah. But yeah, but regardless, you know what I'm saying, I still found you attractive. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me try to, I want to talk to you. I want to see what happens.
Yeah,
Let's
and
see.
that's when the hate
So I
came
shot,
about.
I you know,
And I was like,
I
Dub.
took a shot. Yeah.
I was like, Dub, he married. He wilding right now.
Which I
trying to hit
wasn't.
me up.
Right. As soon as I hit you up, well, not as soon as I hit you up, and it was like, no, no hit back, no nothing, just left me on red. I was just like, wow, okay. Strike one.
Yeah.
Left me
And
on
by
dub.
that time,
But you
know,
thought it's because you thought I was married.
yeah.
And
And not only that, you know,
I wasn't.
by that time, I thought all men were dogs.
Right. Yeah. You still kind of going through
Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I'm good. He
right.
married. He good. Dub.
So
No, but I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that you was separated and all of that.
and then I think some time passed. I don't remember how much.
It was about a week
A
that
week,
passed
right?
by.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was praying, man, Lord, I need a man that's gonna understand me, that's gonna have a relationship with you, that's gonna pray with me, Lord. And then, hey, you text again.
Second, hey.
Hey,
And then guess what happened? Strike two.
dub.
Strike
It was
two.
a dub.
It was like, oh, come on.
No.
All right. You know
But
what?
it was.
You know, my pride, my ego is still intact, I think.
Yeah. Nah. But after the second dub, I did have a conversation with my mother. I was talking to my mom, and I mentioned that you had texted me and stuff like that. And my mom was like, "Oh no, he's not with her, and this and that, and he's single and stuff." And I was like, ding, nah.
You're like, wait a minute, he's single? Okay.
No. No, but in all honesty, I was afraid to get into another relationship. I was in plenty. Sorry, babe.
No, you good.
And there was a lot going on with me. So yeah, I was kind of like scared of it and stuff, but I remember another week passed by and I prayed again. And this time I was like, you know what? Let me disimulate and let me send him a Chime application and see, what happens. You never know. You never know.
So I get the Chime and I'm like, yeah, which you did a good job of because I didn't realize that that's what you were doing at the time. I really just thought you was, it was for the referral. You want your bread. You want to get that. You want to get that $50. You know what I mean? I think it was 50, something like that.
I don't remember.
It was
how
money.
much
It was something like that. I think it was like
some type
50
of
or
money.
100. 50 or 100, something like that. Yeah, it was a referral.
I know it was something.
But I thought it was new. I thought it was like legit.
But
And
nah,
then,
I wasn't.
and I hit you back and I was just like, yeah, I already did that. I already got Chime and I used the referral. But then I took advantage and I said, you know what? I want to try one last time. Let's try one last time. I said, okay. And then I'm like, yeah, I did that. But by the way, you remember who I am, right? Because at this point I'm saying maybe it's because she just doesn't remember who I am. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, but I did remember who you was.
And then, you just wasn't sure about my situation. So that's why.
Yeah.
But
and I was like, yeah, Willie's your uncle.
right. And I was like, yeah, so she does remember me. Yes.
But she was my uncle too. I don't care what nobody's saying. But I'm just saying. He was my uncle too.
Okay.
We could fight all day about that. After that, we did eventually kept on texting each other. After that, from text messages, it went to voice messages on Messenger. From voice messages on Messenger, it went to now we're gonna be talking on the phone. Right. And after we started talking on the phone, it was a wrap. After that, we just kept on talking and talking. I mean, we got to the nitty gritty of everything.
Talked about everything, anything and everything, pretty much.
Yeah, we were older. I mean, we were older now. I had my 5 kids. You had a kid, so it was like we weren't playing no games.
We ain't have time to play games. Like let's get to it. All right, what's going on? I ain't got no time to waste. I'm only getting older. All right, let's
And
so
I kept on telling you, make sure.
Are you sure you want to be with me? And I was just like,
I was like, because we crazy. We were broken.
Well, when we got to that part, once we were talking, we started kind of realizing that we liked each other and we enjoyed each other's company. I mean, not company literally, but like talking with each other, being with each other. Like love is blind.
Like love is blind.
So it was kind of like that.
The show, not the song. Love is blind.
That's a song. I didn't. Okay.
Oh, that was a back in the day song.
Oh wow! Now you have to put me on after. All right.
Love is blind, and it'll take over your mind.
Oh, okay.
What you think is love? It's truly not. You need to elevate and find out.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
I was like,
se.
But nah. That's crazy. I didn't even realize. Yeah, right. But just like on the show, basically, if anybody knows about it. It's very focused time because nobody's like worried about appearance. They're literally having quality conversation, learning about each other. What is it that they want to get out of the relationship or what they're about, all of that. So that's basically what we did. We was doing exactly that.
Yeah.
We were like, we too old for
over
this.
The phone.
Yep. And then it turned into voice message and finally phone calls. We started talking about like what day, I don't know, it was a couple days in and we was just like, I know this is crazy, but you know what? I'm gonna call it. We together. I was just like, you want to be my girlfriend? Yes or no? Now let me stop.
And I was like, check, yes. Nah.
But it was kind of like, it was basically that kind of situation. It was just like, yo, like, are we doing this or what? Because we already knew it was like we were feeling the vibes. We was the whole time we're talking and we were already feeling that like connection, and we was already understanding.
Yeah,
it was like this
definitely.
unspoken, right? It was like an unspoken thing. We already knew,
Yeah.
without even saying anything. And I was just like, oh, I really like her. And I was expressing that along the way anyway. Cause you know I was throwing out, I was throwing a little bit more red, you know. No, okay. I was, but I kind of was though. I was spitting a little games. Don't blame me. You know I was, you know. All right. But anyways, it was very much understood.
Yes. So
And
then, push come to shove, I visit you. You started visiting me.
Mhm.
I really didn't believe that you was gonna move to PA
Yeah,
and get out of New York. I didn't believe that.
I know.
Um,
But you didn't even think I was gonna go be with you.
no, I didn't.
You kind of was. I don't know. You always say it was basically like you felt.
I always felt like I had a low self-esteem. Well, I did have a low self-esteem, and I didn't know my worth. Which we will be talking about that
That's a whole
further.
yeah.
That's a whole different
But
testimony.
but you kind of doubted it. You basically doubted, like
I did. I
like,
did
oh,
doubt
if
it.
you're not gonna be with me, what was it you were saying? Like you was like, oh, if you're not with me,
I understand.
right? And
I
I was just like,
understand.
nah. That's when we finally met face to face. You came to New York, and we met face to
Yeah.
face. We spent time together, and you was just like, listen, if we don't see each other again, I get it. And I'm looking at you like, what do you mean? Like, no, nothing's changed. Like, I still like you. I decided then that I was like, okay, now I'm definitely gonna make an effort, and I gotta go see you in PA. So I did that. Like about within a month, like about a month later,
Mm-hmm.
I go and visit you out here in PA, and then we kind of like back and forth basically.
Yeah.
And then after a while,
And you helped me out a lot too. Even over the phone and stuff, because I remember going through my issues, and by that time I lost my job, I lost,
right.
my house, I lost a lot. Get into that next time. But I remember you telling me, I don't want you to need me. I want you to want me.
Right.
And you was tough. And I would tell you, oh, I owe this, I need to do this. And like, get a job.
And I'm like, oh man, that sounds horrible.
You was like, get
I feel
a
so bad
job.
for you.
Get a
It's just
job.
Like, it's like, have you? Yeah, right. Like, maybe try getting a job. Have you applied? Have you put in any applications anywhere? It's like,
And I was like, you bum? Nah.
wow.
What kind of boyfriend are
I
you
was
now?
scared of that though. That
No.
was one of my fears.
No, but I
that was
wasn't.
definitely a fear.
I feel like I actually needed that
yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah, I
I
feel
was
like
really
true love
down.
at the end of the day. That's all I was like. I feel like that's so important. I feel like true love at the end of the day. And I don't know. I think this is biblical because it's like God. You think about it. God limited His power by giving us free will. He didn't make us robots,
Facts.
and God is love. So God wants that same express. He wants that expression back. Like he's saying, if I want you to want me, or not because I forced you, not for any other reason, but you choose to love me. You know what I'm saying? So He limited His power, gave us free will for us to choose. So if you think about it, we're in the same way. I feel like that's the same expression. Like love wise, I feel like it's the same thing. Like true love is expressed by not because you need me, because that's easy. I could
Facts.
force you into a situation. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of abuse happens like that, which I learned from you. Is that it's not just physical and mental abuse, but there's such a thing as financial abuse.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? People could use your financial situation against you,
Yes.
and now, well, you're stuck. You don't have any other option, so you got to be with me or you got to stay with me. I didn't want that. I wanted true. Like, no, you could be perfectly fine without me. You could live perfectly fine without me, but I choose to want to be with you because I love you for you. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I wanted. So that was like a major focus for me. And it was scary because in the beginning, like I really thought but it was scary, but I felt like it was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because we're
Yeah.
at this age now, we're at that age, and we're in a place where it's like, I can't play games. Like I got to make sure I know for real. So let's rip that Band-Aid. So we're going to find out now. Now it was scary for me. I didn't want to do it, but I was kind of like, so that's
No,
where.
no, I'm actually happy you did that, because I feel like that really did help me a lot. And God knows everything. At the time, I did need a push like that.
Right.
And I felt like, God did use you to push me to that level where I was like, okay, now I gotta look for God.
Right.
You know, I have to get a job. I have to do this, do that. I mean, I knew I wanted a connection with God and stuff like that. So you pushing me like that, it felt like, oh, God is in the midst, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, it was scary. But you was cool though. You was good, and it didn't take long. I mean, you were in between jobs at the time, and then you ended up finding a job. You started working,
Yeah.
and it was in a very short time too. It was. I noticed like you didn't waste no time. Once I started kind of pushing you to that,
Yeah.
you really was just like, you know what, yeah. Because I was at the same time I'm saying get a job, but then I'm encouraging you, like, yo, you got this. You could do this. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need me. And I used to tell you, like, you don't need me. Like, you don't need nobody. You could do this on your own. Like,
Facts.
I want you to want to be with me. Like, you don't have to. I don't want you to need me. I want you to want to be with me. Like, you got this. And then sure enough, in like a short period of time, you got a job. You started making money. And then that's when I think, like, somewhere down the line, after a while, it was just like, okay, you know, you would tell me, like, oh, you know, I got everything else, but like I'm short like $30 for this, or I'm short $50 for that.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, I got you. I hit
And
you.
then he was like, yo, I got you, babe.
Then I started flexing a little bit, and I was just like, yeah, I got you, babe. Like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a little $50 here, another little extra $20 for you.
And I was like, ooh, my man got
acting
me.
like that was big money, like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
But I mean, for us, like, you know, we poor, so it's like, that was a big thing. It's just like, actually, ooh, he gave me extra $20. Let me buy that. I'm about to hit McDonald's. But yeah, like, you know, it was cool because then I kind of started like, I started feeling a little at ease. Like, it was getting more like, okay, you know, now I could kind of flex a little bit.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call that, if you could call it that. But yeah, and then so we're visiting back and forth. I feel like another major milestone. I don't know if we missing anything in between then, but at this point, I would say there was a time where we were leaving. I don't know if you want to talk about that moment where I realized we can't keep doing the long distance, and I'm like, yo, we gotta.
Oh my God. Okay, so I remember you went to go back to where you was living at.
To New York.
To New York. And I went with you to the bus stop to wait on the bus so you can go to New York. And I remember you saying, it feels like I'm not going home. I'm leaving home.
Yeah. That was a major stop. About to get
You really did have risk.
I'm done. I did though. Now let me stop.
But I remember it was.
But that was true. That was the realest moment I ever had.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I had this like, it was the worst feeling. Like, I didn't want to leave, and then I felt that, like, and I literally said, I was just like, yo, it's crazy. I don't feel like I'm going home. I feel like I'm leaving home. Like, this ain't right. And I remember it was kind of sad, whatever. We hugged each other. It was like, okay, bye, till next time, whatever. But I remember that whole bus ride, whole bus ride home. I'm saying to myself, I got to figure out, I'm done. Like, we have to be together. We got to move in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to figure out to stay together. And I decided then that was what I was going to start doing. I started saving my money.
And I didn't believe you.
And you didn't believe me. And it was like, okay. I was just like, what? I'm like, you crazy? I'm saving. I'm like, I'm barely eating lunch. Like, I had to like send. I remember at one point I even took screenshots. I was like, you don't believe me? All right, fine.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I actually remember that.
It was. I would say that was kind of. It wasn't like a full on argument. We weren't arguing, but it was kind of a thing where we were kind of arguing though, because we were going back and forth. And you was just like, I don't even believe you anymore. Like, you're not gonna, like, you're not trying to really do anything. You're not really trying to save money. And I'm like, oh yeah. I took out my phone. Oh really? Oh, she about to find out.
She about to find out. You about to know today.
Screenshot, bank account screenshot. And then I sent you the text, and then you was like, I love you so much. And then you was good. Then you was just like, oh, he is serious. Then you realized I wasn't playing. So
then eventually you moved.
Finally, yeah.
Eventually
and it was quick too.
It was quick. And
I was saving like crazy.
we was in a 1-bedroom apartment
Yeah.
with my best friend. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah.
I was living with him at the time and my 2 daughters. And you came to live with us. That's when we really, like, you really got to see, like, she wasn't lying.
Yeah. Because before that, you was just like, you sure you want to be with me? You know, we were having the conversations, and I'm like, you know, you don't really know crazy until you see crazy. You know, it's one thing to talk about it, and then it's one thing to actually see it. Let me stop. But yeah, I mean, no, let me not stop. Like, it's seriously, that's what it was. It was basically like, we were talking about it, and I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm crazy too.
Really
yeah, you
bad.
had issues with PTSD.
Really bad.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I was all over the place. I love Jesus, though. I've always loved Jesus, and I knew I wanted a connection with Jesus. I knew I wanted a connection with God. But it was just everything I was dealing with, and not having my 3 children at the time, because I didn't have my 3 oldest. They were teenagers by then, but I didn't have them, and I felt like I was suffering bad. And you had so much patience with me. It was crazy to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand how a man could have so much patience, and I'm cursing and screaming and
oh yeah, you was spazzed
in the
out.
street,
You get crazy. Yeah.
outside, and you
The
would
arguments was crazy.
and you would try to hug me, like,
oh yeah,
please, it's not me.
it's not me.
The anger doesn't match the situation. Doesn't match the energy.
Yo, yeah. I mean, right? Because depending on what it was. But here's the thing, though. It's like you always say, you was like, I knew what he was doing. Because early on, we first started talking. I don't even know if we touched on this, but when we were talking, see, everybody was like, "Oh, you're so good for her. He was so patient. He was so this." You know, I feel like I get a lot of praise about like us being together.
Yeah, because everybody knew the
crazy
I was like Rosie, crazy Poochie.
Right, and they knew the exes in the past.
That's
and
my
all
nickname,
of that.
by the way.
And all the exes in the past. So, like, me in comparison, I guess, was like, wow, he's like really different, you know? But when we first started talking, you were, you know, you had a love for God. We both grew up in church. Boom.
Yes.
We, you know, I believed in God, but that's not really saying anything. I didn't really have a relationship with him. We kind of both were backslidden. But one thing early on that you always expressed was that you always love God no matter what. You have such a strong love for God.
I knew I needed a connection somehow, some way. I knew, like, I have to change.
Yeah.
I can't stay stuck like this. Like, what is wrong with me? I believe in you. Right. I know that you exist. What is going on in my life?
Yeah, I couldn't say the same, though. See, like, I went through what I went through, and I had a lot of animosity. Like, stuff was going on with my past and the things I was going through. Your love never wavered, basically. Like, you always knew you loved God regardless. Like me, it wasn't like that. I can't say the same. Just honestly, I can't say the same. I thank God that didn't stay like that. Talking with you, having long conversations with you, and seeing how much you had such a love for God, like, it made me realize, like, I was just like, I was holding all this animosity. I remember after having a conversation with you, I was like alone, you know, even though, you know, we still catch little breaks here and there, like where we have our own alone time.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to God, and I'm like, yo, after everything she been through, she got so much love for you. And I was just like, what's my excuse? That's crazy. Like, I have all this animosity and I'm angry at you. I didn't even go through half the stuff she went through. And then it made me literally start reevaluating, like, my relationship with God, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, seriously, I think I literally only shared that with you because you knew it was in the moment. I was very honest about that. I told you, and you're like, I don't know. She's like, no, I'll never stop loving God.
It's like,
I got that love for God. And I was just like, dang, I got to change. Yo, that's crazy.
But it's crazy because it's like God used both of us as vessels.
Right.
For each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and I feel like
that's an amazing thing.
all that time I think was preparing, because that early on in the talking phase I realized that, and I kind of sparked me to have like that relationship with God again. And then like I really started getting into prayer, started getting into the word, and it was
Yeah.
just like all of that. I feel like in a way it was like almost all of that was preparation for when we actually finally
Yeah,
moved
so when you
together.
came to
So when I came to
PA,
PA and then you started,
which it was like that because I was PTSDing and wilding out and all
Right.
of that, and like I said, cursing you out in the
just-
street and everything, and it was, and I remember going in the car pissed off and just got done yelling and doing all of this, and then you would have Christian music in the car, like,
yeah, and I would just try to calm this. Yeah,
you know, and it would be,
Right,
and
yeah.
I would get upset, like, you want to play Christian music now? You're like,
Yeah.
well, you said you wanted to change. Like,
right.
we want to make a connection with God. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, like, I'm wilding out and he's really trying to, like, you know, pray with me and listen to Christian music.
Yeah.
It was so different, the vibe, you know, due to other relationships I had. I didn't have that partner that would be like, relax
Right.
and let's give it to Jesus.
And I'm like, you ain't angry at me.
You ain't angry at me.
This is something. This has to do with something else. It's not me. Because
and
I didn't do nothing to you. That's literally
then
how I
you
used to
was my
react. I'm like, I
therapist.
didn't do nothing to you.
And then you was my therapist. I always say that you was my counselor, like my therapist for real. Like, I remember going through all the thoughts in my head, and you know, the devil's a liar, and the thoughts that would go in my head, and the things I would think about of the past and all that, which exes and all of that. And I
Talk
just,
about all of that.
whew,
Completely breaking the rules. You
All
don't
the
do that.
rules.
You crazy. You don't talk about your exes with your man. Crazy. You don't talk about what you did.
and I remember thinking that, like, oh my God, I'm saying too much. He's gonna end up breaking up with me. Like, yo, you mentioned
you're
the
Sherry
exes.
to you always talking
And
about
I
your
remember-
exes. Nah, I didn't care though. I didn't care.
You really didn't. And I
That didn't
remember you
faze me.
telling me, like, no, that's your past.
That's your past.
This is what I'm here for. Let it out.
Yeah.
Let
you
it
need-
out.
You need to.
You
Right.
need to let it go.
You need to let it go. Just yeah.
And I would talk about Brownsville and
Oh
all
my
my
goodness.
peoples and everything. And you would just stay there like, nope, let it go. Let it go. Speak about it. Don't worry. That's
I
what
remember.
I'm here for.
If you know what's funny, it did get to a point. It did eventually get to a point where you even I think started because you didn't notice it. I don't think you noticed it early
At
on.
first, no.
But then it got to a point that you're like, I know I talk about this a lot. You even started saying it,
Yes,
but
'cause
it's
I
funny
started
because
noticing.
but you're saying it, but then still doing it anyway though. But it was I think it got to a point where there was an awareness, like you're like, okay, I know I talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
but I still need to talk about it. Like I
Yeah.
need to get this off my chest. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, go ahead.
Because it was a lot of pain.
Go ahead.
in
I
there. It
know
was
I
a
done
lot
heard
of-
this story like for the 5th time, but go ahead.
It was a lot of
Let me
pain in
stop.
there. It was a lot of things
But
going
basically,
on. Okay.
yeah.
And I just
was-
felt like I had to let it go.
So it was
And-
like, yeah, I know a lot of guys are not like that, but I feel like that's important. You
But
know
then
what I'm
it was
saying?
crazy
especially
'cause
if
This happened
Your
for
background.
what, about a year and a half?
yeah.
About almost,
Just like for that first year and some change, yeah.
a year and a half.
And then I don't know what part you want to, because I was gonna say it was a year and a half. I was gonna say I don't want to skip too much. I don't know, but I realized it was funny. You talked about it so much that when you stopped talking about it, I was just like, she hasn't brought up an accident yet. Whoa, okay. It's when I started realizing, like, yo, I think she's finally getting healing from this. Like, she don't feel the need to talk about it so much. And I started noticing that it was like about a year and a half in, I would say.
Yeah.
That
But my
you started
anger
kind
was still there.
you definitely still had anger.
I
Yeah,
had
that's a fact.
lot of anger issues, guys. It was ridiculous. I would break everything, like just lash out for no reason.
Yeah, you were like a tornado.
I was
Yeah, the aftermath in the house used to be crazy. You was like,
making
okay.
scenes.
Yeah.
And then I remember us praying and everything.
And we had
you-
nights where we go to a park.
No, but then I remember at one point you did want to give up.
Oh yeah. I you know what's funny? I can't remember where in the what time was this? Still early on? Like
I know.
Year and a half,
It was
2 year mark?
already like a year and a half, and my usual cursing and screaming in front of the building, whole bunch of people watching, and you was like, "That's it.
Yeah.
I'm done with this girl.
Yeah.
I'm done." And it was
Yeah, 'cause
crazy because
that
at
was-
first I remember like, you ain't the first one I broke up with. I done had so many. Boop, next.
Yeah.
Peace. You know, because
You was just on that, like, whatever.
I was just
yeah.
on until
I actually left. Right?
Until
I
you actually
yeah, because
left.
I left. I was just like, all right, you know what? All right. I'm in the same boat too then. I'm just like,
ooh, let me tell you
I
something.
think you know what's
God
funny?
knows.
you know what's funny
what
though?
to
I think because
do.
that the fact that we, mind you, are older. So I think that mentality was just like, well, rip it now. Like, it is what it is. I think we were both on the same type of time. Like, if this is what it is, then this is what it is. And
Yes.
I don't have time to waste. Like, let's just cut it. Let's just cut it now then. And I was just like, I finally had that thing, and you was just like, whatever. And I was just like, all right, fine. And I just had that moment where I just couldn't. It was rough, you know. It's rough. It was rough, and I finally decided, like, nah, I'm gonna go.
But God knows what He does.
And I
And
started
I'ma
driving back to New
continue
York.
saying that God knows what He does. Because that night that you left, that I realized, like, oh, He's not coming back. I remember I just started crying. And I was like, what is wrong with me? That's when I realized, like, okay, you definitely have a problem, Rosie. There's definitely something wrong with you. Like, you have so much bad, relationships. But this is not that. This is actually a man that believes in God. The man that you're asking for. And you're just going to let him go like that. And I remember calling my mom, and my mom's like kind of in shock. Like, you're really crying for this dude? Like, this is for real?
She's like,
Like,
I've never seen you do that over a guy.
you done been with so many guys. Like, sorry, babe.
Nah, it's all good.
You done been.
That was
What?
your past. I don't even care.
You done
Like,
been with.
It is what it is.
What is so different about this guy? But he prays with me. Like,
Yo,
God,
But yeah.
I know God sent him.
and then I'm on my way back to New York. I'm driving, and then I'm feeling like I don't know. I feel like, I guess you want to say the Holy Spirit, God's trying to speak to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nah, you kind of jumped the gun. Like, don't leave, don't go, right? But then I'm fighting it. I'm saying no.
You pressing that gas.
And I put, yeah, and literally every time I got the
leaving.
urge, I kid you not, every time that voice came to me, like, nah.
You like, Lord, I
And
can't
I'm like,
go
and
back.
I said, but God, you see how she be acting though. And I'm like, and I'm pressing on the pedal harder now. Like, I kid you not. Every time God was like talking to me, I'm like, I'll go from going like 70 to 90. It's like, I kid you not. I'm like, no. And I'm like basically fighting with God. Like, God's like, nah.
Buffy finish.
And so I was just like, nah. So I get to New York because I was like determined. I was just like, nah. And then I'm there.
And I cried. And I remember I cried and I told God, I promise if he comes back, please God, let him come back tomorrow. If he comes back, I promise I will not do this scene anymore. I will try to, but then, at the same time telling God, like, help me control this. Like, I know somehow, some way it gotta give. Like, I love this man. I know he's good for me. He was sent by you. It's like I knew, like, God sent you to me.
Yeah.
It was crazy
I
to
felt
me.
the same
Like,
thing. First, I don't even think I wasn't even an hour into that ride. And God was already nudging me back. But I was going, I'm not gonna lie, I was just being disobedient at that point. I was just like, I was so mad because I was mad. I mean, I was still mad.
yes.
And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. God, no te haga. Tú estás viendo. Like, you see her. Like, come on. You're killing me over here. You want me to go back to her? Like, after the way she's acting? Like, nah. But God was like, God knows what he's doing, And in my mind, I was just like, nah. That by the next day, I got to talking, believe it or not, talking to like non-Christian friends, funny enough. And they was the ones that basically convinced me, like, asking me questions. I can't even remember what the specific conversations was, but they're like, yo, but do you love her though? And I'm like, yeah. And then they was just like, then that's all you need to know. And that's it. Then you answer your, like, you know what I mean? Basically, they're like, that's it. You just mad, get over it, and then just go back. It was basically like, in a nutshell, if I had to like condense the conversations, because it was a couple different conversations I was having throughout that day. But I think by 1 o'clock, I already decided I was going to come back. And I think I came back that same night, the next day, which is funny because that's what you said. He comes back tomorrow. And sure enough, I literally came back. I literally drove back the next day. It was funny. I got back the next day.
I had to keep my promise. I had to keep my promise.
I was back at like,
really hard for me.
I think by like 6, 7 o'clock the next day, I was back. I was already back, literally back.
And I had to keep my promise, and it was hard for me. But the fact that, again, you came back, and it was like right back to prayer, right back to listening to music. We used to drive and park by you park the car by the water, by the lake and stuff like that, and we would just hold each other's hand and look up at the what you call it in the window, the sky.
Oh yeah, the sunroof, the moon.
The sunroof, and we would look up at the stars and stuff. And I remember just being quiet.
Yeah.
And we knew we was praying.
And we would pray. We would pray silently, but we would have like worship music
and
on,
it felt like
Christian
such a
music,
peace. And I remember I was so broken, and I was like, I don't got my kids, and I don't got this, and you know.
This is like shortly. This is after we got over that hump.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that even your brother, I think at one point came down for a visit. Oh, we saw him. I forgot what it was. All I remember, there was a specific conversation with your brother, and he was just like, y'all done? Y'all good?
Yeah. Oh, we had went.
Remember that?
We had went to New York.
Yeah.
We went to New York. It was to my cousin's
Yeah. It was like a
baby shower.
A shower, yeah. It was a shower.
A baby shower.
And he's looking at both of them. He's like,
my brother
y'all over
he's like,
he's like, y'all over it? Y'all good?
Y'all good? Y'all gonna make up?
Y'all gonna make up?
Y'all
like,
made up.
Like this is over already. Like we stopped.
Like
basically he's like, I don't want to hear nothing about this
he
ever
looked
again.
at me
like that's it.
No,
There's no more none of
the thing
this.
is, he looks at me and he's like, you need to stop.
Oh yeah, facts. He's telling you, you
need to stop.
Right.
Jay's not like
I'll
the other
never
ones.
forget that conversation because
Jay's not like the other ones.
It was because it was a little awkward, but then at the same time, I'm like, I get it because he's the brother. You know what I mean? He's little big brother.
Yeah,
as you call him.
definitely
That's
my
like a
little
thing they
big
have.
brother.
Yeah.
Because I'm older than him, but he's the protector.
He's the younger brother, but he acts like the older brother.
He's my
in a lot
baby
of
brother,
cases.
but in a lot of cases, he does act like the protector. He want to make sure sister good. Like,
yeah, right. So I was just, and I'm looking at him like, nah, we good.
It was funny because like brothers like that, they'll automatically go to the man.
Right, like press me kind of thing. But
but instead of him pressing you, he pressed me right away because it's like, you my sister, I know you. You the problem.
You were right, yeah.
He already knew, like,
I know.
No,
I think that kind of made it more awkward too because I'm there throughout the whole conversation too, and I'm just like, like, nah, we good though, we good.
I know you started everything, and I was just like,
and he's like, basically, y'all over it? Is y'all good now? And I'm like, yeah, no, we good.
And we was,
and we really were though. We was good for a good little bit. By that point, we were for a little while already.
And
good.
I remember, after that, I went to you in the car, and I told you it was a dream you had. I don't know if you remember, the dream with the sneakers.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
There was a dream.
That sounds kind of familiar because I had a lot of dreams.
There was a dream you had
between the both of us.
And basically, I can't remember a lot of the dream too, but I do remember you telling me the dream, and it basically was walking in God our way. Not the way we were taught. Put it that way. Not the way we were taught religiously.
Oh, okay, right.
And we decided, okay, because at that time we were smoking too,
yeah,
and all of that. Yes, we were searching God, but we still had our stuff. We were some potheads and all of that.
Right.
And I remember we told each other like, we're gonna come as we are.
Right.
we're coming as we are. We're gonna serve God in the way we know how, which is worship, praise. You know, we're gonna read the verses.
Yeah, that was when
in the Bible, and we started reading the app. Remember the YouVersion app?
Yeah, it was the first time I felt like it wasn't a forced thing, because I feel like we
because
grew
we
up legalistic. Let's just keep it on, like keep it a buck. Like we grew up legalistic, and everything was like very certain things. Well, not certain things. A lot of things. Most things were just strict by the book. There's certain rules that you have to follow. You have to be like this, like this, like this.
Yeah.
And the impression was always like, you got to come correct. You know, you can't. You got to be respectful. You gotta have reverencia. I don't even know how to say that in English.
You gotta be careful because whatever you're doing, you want to hell.
Right.
You can't do this because you're gonna go to hell.
I think it was
at that moment
in the dream. It was like God was telling us, like reminding us, like, no, come as you are. Like
yes. We knew that what we were doing was wrong.
We already knew that.
That definitely.
There was no question.
Down, we knew.
Yeah, we knew that.
We knew because we grew up in church. You know, it might have not. You know, it might have been strict and stuff like that, but the seed was still planted.
Right. Exactly.
You know.
Right.
So we knew what we knew.
Yeah.
And then we decided like, nope.
You know, we're gonna serve. Like we're gonna have a relationship with God.
Yep. And I remember we visited a couple of the churches. We went to a Spanish church and stuff like that.
We went like once or twice. Once I think only really.
Yeah.
And we weren't too crazy about it. We were kind of trying to look for a church to fellowship.
And then one by one, I started getting my kids back. I got one back. I got the second one, the third. But again, that's for another day. God started working amazingly in us.
Yeah, when we started really committing to having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Like, fate, like it was, we just seen God move in so many ways, like with your kids. It was just like boom, boom, boom. Like, you know, with you were making progress. That was one thing when I came back after that whole argument that I left. That was like the first big thing, honestly. It was like, because I was just like, yo, I can't do that. Like, your outbursts are crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? The way you spaz
and it was
is
hard
crazy.
for me because,
and that was like the first thing I noticed. And you literally kept to it too. You was just like, nah, I'm never gonna do that again. Yeah. And you literally never did that again.
And it was really hard for me because I want to be honest. It wasn't like you came back and it was like, oh God, he healed me. No,
right. It's still like a process to it, but
I had to I had to keep on reminding myself that I made a vow to the Lord most and foremost. And I said, I will not let the PTSD get the best of me. I know that you got me, God. And there was times where I will get upset or whatever, but I would like walk out this time or go to the bathroom and God, please help me with this anger. I just want to break everything. But he did.
Yeah, he started working in us.
Oh my God, he helped me.
Because we started realizing like God basically was telling us, and this is how it truly is. You don't get clean to take a shower.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? He was basically, no, come as you are. Serve me, look for me, worship me.
Jesus is the true soap.
And he's gonna, exactly.
He is the
and
true
he started
soap.
Cleansing from inside out. Like, it was crazy, the transformation he started making. And a lot of people didn't notice it at first, but I know eventually people started saying it. That was another whole that was a whole other thing with you. You're like, people, I'm changing so much, but nobody sees it. They want to compare me to the old me. That was like a whole thing with you. Like,
oh my God.
That was another part of the process as we got, closer and closer to God. It was crazy. And you was just like, and I told him, I said, no, but don't let that change you. I used to tell you all the time. I was like, don't let that change you. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're not doing it for other people. You're doing it for you. This is for God. You're having a relationship with God. It's for you and him. So, for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I said, people eventually, sure enough, people started noticing, like, yo, wow, you did change a lot,
Yeah. People were amazed, like, oh no.
You did a whole 180. Yeah.
But it did take a while for people to realize that.
Yeah.
And understand, like, oh, Rosie ain't the same.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped smoking weed at first.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
which I thought we would never do, but glory be to God. That was God,
and
literally. Because I thought I was going to go be an old man. I even used to say it. I was just like, I'm going to be 80 years old still. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he changed that. We stopped smoking weed. That was awesome. And God really
yo.
worked in our lives. And then we started looking, basically we started looking around for a couple churches, and then we eventually found one church where we were at, LCBC, was actually really Lives Changed by Christ.
Lives Changed by Christ.
That's what LCBC stands for.
Yes, Lives Changed by Christ.
And it's a church out there. And it
And
was good.
all of us.
It was all of us. It was
Me, you, and
at this point,
by that time I already had the two boys with me.
Right.
You know, the two girls were already with me, but by that time I ended up getting both my sons that I lost. They were living with me now. Mind you, living in a 1-bedroom apartment, was still living in a 1-bedroom apartment. God knows everything, but I ended up getting them back. And I remember you saying, when I first had Matthew, when I first had the first one, you was like, that's one.
Yeah.
Two
I
more
said,
to
you see
go.
how God is working? I said, we got 2 more.
2 more to
Yeah.
go.
And then little by little.
And then the second one
Little
came.
by
I was like,
little.
that's 2.
Yeah.
3 more to go. Now the third one, she was living, you know, with her man at the
She was
time.
she was oldest.
living with
She's
her
the
man
oldest,
now.
so yeah, at that
and all
point
of
she
that.
had already, yeah.
And
But the relationship,
the relationship,
the speaking and the
grew
talking, yeah.
so much, and
Right.
we got really close, and we ended up getting closure and all of that good stuff. And God really, when I'm talking about God transforms, He
Yeah.
transforms, and He makes everything all better.
Yeah. I think, you know what, and it takes time because people, people know you for so long and saw you for who you were.
Yeah.
So they're like, I think it was hard initially because people weren't so quick to like jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh yeah, she changed. She's good now. She's
No,
cool.
of course not.
So, a lot of people are
It
kind of
took-
like doubting, okay, you seem like you're cool. You know what I mean? I think it
Yeah,
was a
it
lot of
took-
that going on.
It took a
And
lot.
and I'm not knocking it. I get it. People kind of basically doubting. They were trying to see, is this really true? Like,
Yeah.
are you going to be consistent? Did you really change? And only time will tell. And sure enough, a year passed, a year and a half passed, and they're like, oh shoot, like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really did change. She remains the same. Like,
Yeah.
and then it was like after a while, yeah.
My own mom started realizing.
Yeah, I noticed your relationship with your mom got stronger as well
Yes.
too.
Very
Like,
strong because we.
yeah, like you guys talk, but I noticed it got as time we were together, as the
Yeah,
time
we
passed.
spoke, but
Like I
we
noticed you
had-
got like stronger.
We had a lot of differences. That I mean, I've always loved my mom, and my mom, a woman of faith, always been a woman of faith, and she taught me.
as
you
they
know,
say in
she-
Spanish,
she
una mujer de
planted-
Dios.
That's right, and she planted
Yeah,
that
that's a fact.
seed. She planted that seed in me since a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I thank my mom for that. But we did have some clashes here and there. I felt like God was taking me a different direction. There was, or I was, when I left, especially when I left God and stuff like that, I was like, Mom, stop preaching to me. Stop telling me this. Stop telling me that. Leave me alone. I can't go to God. I'm ashamed. Ha, da, da. And so me and her had a very, yeah.
It was rough. Yeah,
It was rough. But then, yeah,
time.
over time and as I started getting closer to God, I felt more confident to talk to my mom and let her know things that she didn't even know.
Yeah,
And we started talking, and it was like she became my best friend.
man.
She became my best friend, and I was able to tell her things. I mean, in the past, I knew I was able to tell her things, but you don't want to tell your mother everything when you're younger, As I got older, though, it was like, oh wow, like, and our relationship got really strong.
So, yeah.
And the same with my cousins and stuff like that, because there was cousins that I wasn't really like, was on and off talking
Okay,
maybe
right,
once
yeah.
a year and stuff like that. But then, we ended up moving from our 1-bedroom apartment. God blessed us with a house.
Yeah,
God knows what He does. And I ended up
And
getting
we- yeah.
close to my cousins, like certain cousins
Right,
and
that you
stuff
hadn't
like
really
that.
been talking to like
and I
that,
ended up
right.
getting close to them, and they started seeing like, oh wow, yo, Cuzzo,
you different. Yeah,
Cuzzo is different. Like God is using Cuzzo. Like